मैं भाषण नहीं दूंगा। आप में से कितने लोग 90s में पैदा हुए? देखिए 90s में, 90s 85 से 90, अच्छी खासी संख्या है। 2000s में कब होंगे, शायद ही कोई होंगे। इंडिया में इंटरनेट कब आया था, कौन बताएगा? सबसे पहले इंटरनेट किसी ने कब यूज़ किया होगा? थोड़े से मेरी एज ग्रुप वाले लोगों में से बताएं कोई। 95 करेक्ट, 94, 91, 92 आईआईटी कानपुर। आईआईटी क्यों? ठीक है, समझ गया मैं। सबसे पहले आईआईटी बॉम्बे में और आईआईटी कानपुर में और आईआईटी मद्रास में 3-4 जगह यूज़ किया था। कहाँ से हो आप? आईआईटी खड़गपुर। हाँ, तो वो केजीपी सुंडी। तो मेरे मंच पे बैठे सम्मान्य एमओएस साहब श्री देवू सिंह जी, सेक्रेटरी पोस्ट, ऑल दी ऑफिसर्स, माफ़ कीजिए मैं थोड़ा सा इनफॉर्मल बातचीत करने के मन से आया था यहाँ, भाषण देने का कोई इरादा नहीं था। तो हम लोग आज जिस ग्रुप के साथ बात कर रहे हैं वो ग्रुप बेसिकली ऐसा ग्रुप है जो इंटरनेट के साथ पैदा हुआ, जन्म के साथ ही इंटरनेट आया। अच्छा ये बताओ, सबसे पहले स्मार्टफोन कितने कौन से साल में देखा आप लोगों ने? 95 ना, 95 में स्मार्टफोन कहाँ था? हम्म, 2005, 2008। हाँ, थोड़ा मतलब पॉपुलर होने पहले नोकिया का एक फीचर फ़ोन, थोड़ा डबल स्क्रीन खुलने वाला, फिर बाद में इस तरह का फ्लैप वाला, फिर बाद में एक आया था नोकिया का जो ऊपर ऐसे खुलता था, राइट? उसमें बकायदा पूरा का पूरा QWERTY कीबोर्ड था। कम्युनिकेटर, करेक्ट करेक्ट। मेरा तो गोवा पोर्ट में काम करता था, पानी में गिर गया बोट में चलते चलते, आज तक दुख है उसका। तो कम्युनिकेटर का सबसे पहले वो स्मार्टफोन, मेरे ख्याल से रियल स्मार्टफोन वाज द कम्युनिकेटर, नोकिया कम्युनिकेटर, दैट वाज द रियल स्मार्टफोन, एंड दैट वाज प्रोबेबली समवेयर 2005 2004, दैट वाज द टाइम फ्रेम। तो जो लोग उसके बाद में जन्म लिए वो स्मार्टफोन के साथ पैदा हुए। सबसे पहला स्मार्ट टीवी कब देखा? स्मार्ट टीवी, एंड्रॉयड टीवी, 12-13, हाँ करीब करीब उसी वक्त आया। उससे पहले तो स्मार्ट टीवी वाज नॉट रियली अ कॉन्सेप्ट, इट वाज मोर लाइक ओके वी आर एडिंग सम फीचर्स। सो सी द रैपिडिटी ऑफ द चेंज। Imagine when, let's say, if you look at the time frame of 60s to 80s, if somebody understood a technology, somebody learned a technology, that person would think that fine, I have understood something for life now, I can build a career on this. Somebody would have learned Pascal at that point of time, or C at that point of time, and C and C++ at that point of time, would think that I am the king, I can, throughout my career, I can continue with this knowledge. Then came Java, Python, Apache, so many different ways of looking at software, so many new technologies. The whole technology cycle, which was this wide, got compressed to this. Life cycle of technology was 15-20 years. That got reduced to anywhere between 5 to 10 years. Then things changed. Machine learning started taking roots. When we were at IIT, we would have like one prof teaching us neural networks, and we'll like sleep in that. That's the best lecture to sleep. That's the best class to sleep. Neural network kahan? Bahut dur hai. Today it's a reality. Then things changed so fast. Convergence हुआ computing का, computing power shot like this, cost of communication shot like this. On the one hand, computing was growing like this, cost of communication was growing like this, the communication speed was growing like this, and the cost of sensors was coming like this. All these things combined together The cost of electronics was going down like this. All these things combined together, and today we are at a stage in our society, in our humanity, where the difference between machines and human beings is converging. And it's dangerous. It's great on one hand, it's dangerous on the other hand. Great if we apply all this to the good of the society, for the benefit of the society. Bad if somebody wants to misuse it for some destructive force. So that's the juncture at which we are today as we stand. My request to all the youngsters, to the generation which is going to run this country for the next 30, 40, 50 years, which are going to be very different from the past 30, 40, 50 years, is keep the gravity, understand the gravity of the situation, gravity of the convergence of humanity and technology, understand the societal changes, and make sure that as you lead this nation into a new territory, keep the people at the bottom of the pyramid at your mind, at your goal, at your eyesight, in all your programs. Because they are the ones who will need your attention most. The people who are left out by this digital race, people who are left out by the financial growth, people who are left out of the technological changes, people who are left out of the urban improvement that we are seeing, उन लोगों के बारे में हमेशा मन में रखना जो कि इस दौड़ में आज पीछे हैं, जो कि समाज के आज भी अंतिम छोर पे बैठे हैं, जो कि आज भी अंतिम पायदान पे बैठे हैं, उनका ध्यान रखना. इसी थॉट प्रोसेस से आज का प्रोग्राम बना. आई गेव अ बिट ऑफ कॉन्टेक्स्ट टू दिस एंटायर थिंग. इसी थॉट प्रोसेस से आज का ये प्रोग्राम बना. पोस्ट ऑफिस एक ऐसा इंस्टीट्यूशन है देश का, गो एनीवेयर, नॉर्थ, साउथ, ईस्ट, वेस्ट, कच्छ से कोहिमा तक, कश्मीर से कन्याकुमारी तक, हर जगह एक ट्रस्ट है, एक इनहेरेंट ट्रस्ट है इन द होल पोस्टल इंस्टीट्यूशन. And the officers of postal department are some of the best officers I have seen, some of the fantastic officers I have seen. Committed, dynamic, really committed, connected with the grassroots. ऐसे organization को if we can transform, this can be a great way to reach out to the last person in the society, which is what the government's aim is, which is what our main thought process is. That's the thought process which today brings. How many startups are there in this room? 30, 40, 50 होंगे उस तरफ, ऊपर ना, ऊपर कोई नहीं है इस तरफ. Okay, so maybe 30, 40, 50. Okay, so 30, 40, 50 startups. Each of you are like a multiplier, kinetic multiplier, kinetic energy, right? उसका multiplier हो आप. एक्सीलरेटर, ब्रेक के ऊपर नहीं, एक्सीलरेटर के ऊपर पाँव लगाने वाले हो. If you combine your force and energy and thought process with the strength of the post office which is there, the results can be phenomenal. The results can be phenomenal. So that's why we thought, with the goal of reaching to the last person in the society, West में all the big good newspapers and big, they'll all call it inclusive development. We call it Antyodaya. Antyodaya is a philosophy with which we were born as a party, as a thought process. We believe in Antyodaya as our primary philosophy. Antyodaya is जो लास्ट में, जो बॉटम ऑफ द पिरामिड में, जो समाज के अंतिम छोर में, उनकी सेवा करना, उनकी लाइफ में एक डेवलपमेंट लाना, उनकी लाइफ में एक चेंज लाना, ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन लाना. Imagine the results that we can achieve with this thought process. Now, is this thought process only in postal? No. This thought process is there in every wing of the government today. When Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji set out on the journey of Startup India, people were criticizing, people were saying, kya hai ye Startup India? Today, if we put our hands on our hearts, we know that today Indian startup ecosystem is respected all over the world. We are today among the top 3 startup ecosystems in the world. Where we were 10 years back, one startup would come, somebody would be challenging, people would be like struggling to find funds, struggling to find the right mentors, struggling to find the ecosystem, struggling to find the support system. Today there is a properly calibrated, properly recognized, properly developed ecosystem in the country for startups. Defense, I'll give 3 examples. Defense, n number of new products and solutions have come out of the collaboration between the Ministry of Defense and the startups. आप में से कोई है जिसने डिफेंस में काम किया? एक. कैसा रहा आपका 2, 3? कैसा रहा आपका एक्सपीरियंस एज ए स्टार्टअप? He is saying thumbs up. Right? The department, the ministry was open-minded, willing to go all along, right? BSF के साथ किसी ने काम किया यहाँ पे? पुलिस फोर्स. ओके. ड्रोन्स में किसी ने काम किया? ये फिर अलग तरह का, ये शायद फाइनेंशियल फोकस्ड है ये ग्रुप. एक सेक्टर में wherever the government has with an open mind, partnered with the startups, the results have been phenomenal. Results have been amazing. BSF के साथ 2-3 startups ने ऐसा काम किया, if a drone invasion happens, they can predict it. They can use the radar sensing technologies and reasonably well in advance predict if something happens on the border which can be a threat to the country. So that kind of solutions are coming. In the same hall, I remember one student from Assam made a presentation on using artificial intelligence to keep people awake in the क्लासरूम. मैंने कहा यार मुझे पहले पता होता मेरी लाइफ चेंज हो जाती, मुझे तो क्लास में नींद आती थी हमेशा. तो इस तरह का, I mean imagine, and I still cannot pronounce the full name of that algorithm. Baap re baap, psychoanalysis, very difficult. So that's the kind of energy, that's the kind of new applications which are coming from the youth. So इसी mindset के साथ रेलवे में, again, see how the thought process is evolved. This we must understand. I'll take a couple of minutes to explain it very nicely. The thought process evolved today to support the startups in the most vulnerable phase. What is the most vulnerable phase? शानदार आइडिया है, दिमाग की बत्ती जली, बहुत अच्छा आइडिया आया, अपना आइडिया है, खुद को अच्छा हमेशा लगता है. When it goes to the market, starts testing the reality, then oh, ये भी हो सकता है दिक्कत, ये भी हो सकती है, ये भी हो सकती है, ये भी हो सकती है, right? Then things change. Idea to POC to product. This is the most vulnerable phase. Can we support startups during this most vulnerable phase? That's the evolution which has happened over last 4-5 years, 6 years. Earlier the idea was give a prize money, fine, तालियां बज गई, हो गया, ठीक है. नहीं. Now the thought process is, can we help the startup to create a sustainable business model out of that idea? That's a fundamental change which has happened. So, my friends, what I want to share with you, that this is a classic example of how our thought process has evolved towards supporting the startups from idea to the business model complete. So, जो आप में से इस फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन के चैलेंज में जीतेगा, उसके साथ पोस्ट विल support you for creating that product. I think there is some financial you have put ना 3 करोड़ तक का सपोर्ट करेंगे आप, ऐसा ना? We'll be supporting up to 3 crore rupees. I understand what startups are because I had a startup. वो शुरू में तो खाने के पैसे मिल जाए और एक जगह काम करने को मिल जाए तो भी लगता है कि यार कुछ अच्छा है, करना है, मुझे कुछ करके दिखाना है, मुझे कुछ करके दिखाना है, उस जुनून के साथ काम करते हैं ना, राइट? सो इसमें द सपोर्ट इज गोइंग टू बी अप टू 3 crore rupees. And once the product develops and it can be put into use, then it will be a sustained business model of a revenue share. And we from the government commit to you, if your product is good, आपके product में अगर दम है, तो we will go out and talk to the VC community and say that yes, this is a great product, we stand by it, we support it, हम चट्टान की तरह पीछे खड़े होंगे आपके साथ. Your product must stand the test of reality. That's the thought process. यही thought process रेलवे में, यही thought process डिफेंस में, यही thought process n number of organizations में, यही thought process IT में, साइबर सिक्योरिटी में अभी कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स बने, and those products are going to be world leaders. And the same process where we set up a challenge, people come out, young minds bring their energy to it, test of reality, some fail, some succeed. That's how it evolves. So I wish you great luck. कितने लोग participate करने वाले हैं? देखें, 1 2 3 4 5 10 15 20. मैं भी हाथ खड़ा कर लेता हूँ. ऑनलाइन वाले कैसे करेंगे? अपने उस पे थम्स अप करना यूट्यूब पे, जो पार्टिसिपेट करने वाले हैं, लाइक देना एक, राइट? सो आई विश यू ग्रेट लक. बहुत अच्छा इससे प्रोडक्ट निकलना चाहिए. वी शुड कम आउट विद अ वंडरफुल प्रोडक्ट विच कैन बी टेकन टू द वर्ल्ड. डोंट थिंक स्मॉल, थिंक दैट द होल वर्ल्ड इज योर कैनवस. And I am addressing the entire online community, which is every startup who's watching this. I request you, think of the entire world as your canvas. Your products today developed in India, which can work in our challenges, will win the world. Today, I'm sure UPI, आप सब जानते हो, even the US Fed has said that this kind of payment system even we don't have. That's the power of our brains. So use it to the maximum possible. Win, और जो जीतेगा okay. Good. Thank you.